Hi everyone, Dr. Eric Kaufman here, and in this tutorial we're going to look at how we talk to the supplier. So first of all, we're going to cover what you need to know before you speak with your supplier, how to introduce yourself online, how to introduce yourself over the phone, and what to expect. First of all, what you need to know before getting on the phone or messaging your supplier. Before even talking to your supplier, you need to have a good idea of the following information from the buyer's perspective. First of all, what product and what specification are they looking for? And you want to be as precise with this as possible, as certain products can have many kinds of specifications and many kinds of qualities and many kinds of customization options. So you want to make sure that you have the exact right specification that the buyer is looking for so you can supply them properly. Next, have an idea of the quantity. This doesn't have to be an exact number, but it should be a rough idea or even a range. So for example, you might want to know the price at 10 tons if you order 10 tons of the product, and what is the price at 20 tons and what is the price at 50 tons. Just get a rough idea of how much your buyer is looking to purchase and find out the pricing regarding that. Next is what kind of packaging options is the buyer looking for? Is the buyer looking for plastic bags? Is he looking for vacuum sealing? Is he looking for cardboard boxes? There are so many kinds of packaging options for all the different kinds of products out there that you should be aware of what the packaging options the buyer is looking for, especially because packaging is a very expensive option depending on the type of packaging used, and it'll help your supplier give you a more accurate price to give to your buyer. Next is when and where to. So when does the buyer require the product and the shipment, and to which country and to which port does the buyer need it to? And even beyond that, it might be whether the product will be shipped to a particular airport or directly to the buyer's address, and whatever other delivery options there may be. What shipping and payment terms? So once again, are they looking for an FOB price? Are they looking for a CIF price, a cost, insurance, and freight price? And what are the payment terms? How much is in advance? How much is against documents? And so forth. Any special customization that the buyer requires that is not normally offered by the seller. So, how do we introduce ourselves online? First of all, keep it simple. Use good grammar and good spelling, and this is absolutely important. Most businesses will not do business with an agent with poor English or poor grammar or poor spelling. And this is your first impression, so it's important to get it right. Use good formatting, so don't just have a bunch of text all over the place and some of it's bolded and some of it's highlighted. Try to keep it as clean and simple as possible. Suppliers get tens to hundreds of RFQs, requests for quotes, every day. So you want to make sure that yours is the easiest to read and just stands out and just looks the most professional, so that yours isn't ignored or thrown away with hundreds of others every day. So how are we going to go about this? First of all, introduce yourself, who you are. Introduce your company and your company name. State your request for quote. So tell the supplier exactly what it is that your buyer is looking to purchase, what quantity, and all the other aspects that we just mentioned. Finally, thank them at the end of the email, and then sign off with your name, the position at your company name, your company address, your phone number, your company email, and your website address, and best in that order. So let's take a look at an example. You can start off with something such as, Dear Mr. Greenberg, just addressing our potential supplier. My name is Eric from Kaufman Industries in Seoul, Korea. We're telling him our company name and where we're located in the world. I would appreciate a quote for the following. And then try to be as clear as possible and just divide it nicely so it's easy to read and easy for the supplier to assess. So here we want 23 tons of grade 2 crimson red lentils. That's the quality we require. In 1 kilogram, clear packaging with custom branding. This is the type of packaging we require. CIF, Seoul, Korea. So this is the shipping and location that we require to cost, insurance, and freight to Seoul, Korea. Now, in this case, I haven't mentioned the payment terms because they are not necessary until the negotiation phase. However, it's important to know so that when you interact with your supplier in the future, you'll be able to negotiate knowing the terms that your buyer is comfortable with. Next, finally thank them for your time, and then end with your signature. Simply something like regards or sincerely or whatever you prefer to use. Your name, your title at your company name, your company address, your company phone number, your company email, and finally, your company website. So next, we'll look at how you introduce yourself on the phone. This is going to be very similar to how you introduce yourself online, with a slight difference that you're speaking on the phone. So first of all, sound very professional, and most importantly, know your product. You have to know it even better than if you're introducing yourself online, because on the phone, they can back and forth with you quickly, and they can know if you're hesitating or if there's some information that you don't know about your product, and they might not do business with you as a result. So it's very important that you know your product and you know your product specification. Next, use good English, not slang, but not too formal. You don't have to try to sound like the King of England, nor do you want to sound like you're just talking to a friend. You want to establish a balance between the two. Suppliers get tens to hundreds of RFQs every day, even on the phone, and some are hostile to new buyers, so they might resist talking to you or providing you a quote at first, simply because they get hundreds a day, and many of them are just fake or fall through, and they're just tired of it. So what you will do is introduce yourself and introduce your company name, state your quote, thank them. Usually they'll give you their email address and ask you to fill out a form or send your quote by email to that address. What should we expect? Don't expect to get a quote immediately. Quotes include many factors, and the supplier will need to check parameters like shipping costs before they can give you an accurate quote. Sometimes suppliers can be rude on the phone, especially if you're not 100% sure on all your information, and if you hesitate, you will face rejection, whether you do well or not. So forget about them. There are hundreds of suppliers in the sea. The most important thing is don't lose your cool, never get angry. Once you get a quote, it's time to talk to the potential buyer. Thank you.